Jessica Pegula, daughter of Bills owner, joins INT controversy from Australian Open. It was a catch. Jessica Pegula, daughter of Bills owner, joins INT controversy from Australian Open. It was a catch originally appeared on the Sporting News. Add the Sporting News as a preferred source by clicking here. The NFL was due for another catch controversy, and it came in the 2026 divisional round game between the Buffalo Bills and the Denver Broncos. It looked like Josh Allen had hit wide receiver Brandon Cooks for a huge gain in overtime, but then Broncos cornerback Jaquan McMillian somehow ended up with the ball, and it was ruled an interception. After a questionably short review, the call stood, and social media erupted in debate. Many argued that Cooks had possession and was down before McMillian stripped it from him. Others argued that the Buffalo wide receiver didn't have full control on the ground and that it was correctly called. Both sides used extreme slow-mos, still shots and even AI to remove McMillian from the play to try to explain their point. Former Buffalo head coach Sean McDermott weighed in heavily, but there wasn't a statement from the team owner, Terry Pegula, which isn't out of the ordinary. However, Pegula's daughter, Jessica, is a world-class tennis player competing in the 2026 Australian Open. Even from down under, she weighed in on the controversy. Here is more on what Pegula had to say about the controversial interception. More, Sean McDermott criticizes officials for lack of review on controversial OT play. Jessica Pegula reacts to Bills INT controversy. Pegula is currently competing in the 2026 Australian Open. A trend in the sport has been that the winning tennis player gets up close to a camera and celebrates by signing it. While it is likely just a film that can be removed so the camera can still be used, it looks really cool. Typically, tennis players sign their names, but Pegula added a little extra flair to hers after her latest win. She beat Anastasia Zakharova and walked over to the camera. She signed her name as usual, but then added, "That was a catch," with a sad face. In her first-round press conference, she added about the result, "Yeah, yesterday sucked, not going to lie. I was not happy. Not a happy camper. Tough game, tough loss. How we lost was also, it was like a stab in the heart kind of situation. It just wasn't fun, yeah?" She added that she was practicing at the time of the game. "I don't know why my coach booked practice at that time. That was his fault, but it was the only time we could get a court. I practiced with an earbud in and had the stream on my phone so I could just at least hear what was going on." For reference, here is the controversial play that Pegula believes was a catch. More, what's next for fired Bills coach Sean McDermott? Who is Jessica Pegula? Pegula is the daughter of Terry and Kim Pegula. She was born on February 24, 1994, and is 31 years old. Pegula became a professional tennis player in 2009. Entering the 2026 Australian Open, she has a career 487 to 271 singles record. Pegula's highest career ranking was as the number 3 women's tennis player in the world, which she achieved in October 2022. She is still searching for her first career singles title. Pegula made it to the 2024 US Open final, but lost to Aryna Sabalenka 7-5, 7-5. Some fans on forums are supportive of the idea that she takes over team ownership from her parents, given that she is very supportive of the team, sharing in the highs and lows as she did with her Australian Open message. However, there are currently no links or credible sources suggesting she would be interested in taking over for her parents as team owner. Worlds collide in Melbourne. Jessica Pegula and the catch that echoed beyond the NFL. Tennis and American football could hardly be farther apart in spirit, rhythm, and fan culture. One is a traditionally individual sport marked by quiet rapt attention and long rallies. The other is the epitome of strategic brutality and tribal belonging. Yet in January 2026, at the Australian Open, a cauldron of ferocious athletic energy, late-night matches, and global viewership, these two worlds unexpectedly collided through one figure who belongs to both, Jessica Pegula. World number 6 in women's tennis, and daughter of Buffalo Bills owners Terry and Kim Pegula, she found herself at the heart of an NFL officiating firestorm while serving aces in Melbourne. The perfect storm, a controversial call and a tennis star. On January 17, 2026, The Buffalo Bills suffered a heart-wrenching overtime loss to the Denver Broncos in the AFC divisional round. The defining moment? A deep pass from quarterback Josh Allen to wide receiver Brandon Cooks, initially ruled an interception, that fans and critics later argued should have been a catch. Buffalo's season ended there, with emotions raw across the Bills' faithful. For many fans, it was just another contentious officiating moment. For Jessica Pegula, it was personal. Just a day later, fresh off her first-round win at the Australian Open, Pegula stepped toward the on-court camera, the one players customarily use to jot celebratory messages, and wrote, "That was a catch." With a simple sad face beside it, she broadcast her frustration to millions watching from home. In that instant, Pegula did something remarkable. She did not merely mention the NFL controversy, she fused her athletic identities, tennis champion and Bills supporter, in one image. It was a succinct expression of how sport and personal allegiance can bleed into each other. Why this matters? Context of identity and allegiance. In elite sport, athletes are often boxed into neat categories: tennis star, football player, Olympian. But Jessica Pegula has always defied that simplicity. Born into a family that owns professional sports franchises and raised alongside elite athletes, Pegula's life seems to straddle two worlds: the solitary timeless grind of tennis and the tribal spectacle of American football. Her very name carries meaning on both continents. She competes among the best women in the world while representing one of the most passionate fan bases in American sport. Usually, these identities occupy separate compartments: tennis in Melbourne, Bills fandom in Buffalo. But that split melted away when the emotional residue of a divisive NFL moment filled the air in Melbourne Park. Her message wasn't just about fairness in an NFL call. It was about ownership, passion, and identity. It was an admission that even a world-class athlete cannot completely detach from her roots and allegiances. The power of a public gesture. One might argue, why would a tennis player make a comment about football? Yet if we look deeper, Pegula's gesture was far more than a fleeting complaint. On-court camera gestures at tennis tournaments are a tradition, usually playful or victorious, e.g., "See you next round," or "Thanks, fans." By writing, "That was a catch," Pegula transformed a light-hearted spectacle into a pointed commentary on justice, interpretation, and emotional investment. This act also resonated with a broader cultural backdrop. Athletes as activists. Modern competitors are more than performers. They're voices of cultural and social expression. Fan culture, Bills Mafia, the devoted and often boisterous fan base, has become a phenomenon in itself. Pegula's statement aligned her with that tribe at a moment of shared heartbreak. Media landscape. In today's social era, anything written or spoken on a global stage becomes a viral moment.